You're an entrepreneur and you don't need me to tell you that processes and systems matter. You've heard a lot of people talk about that. I'm sure you've experienced it in your own life. You know the difference between a process that feels clear and streamlined and consistent from client to client and something that feels really difficult and hard to wrestle together and hard to track where you are and what you need to do next. I'm not here to convince you that processes and systems matter, but what I want to do is start broadening your perspective away from I need to write some SOPs and I need to document some stuff to what's going on within your business at a profitability and value level. So that's why we use terms like performance engine instead of processes and systems. At the end of the day, if you were to sell your business someday, what someone's going to be buying from you is the value of your brand, your customer book, and the engines of your business. This is how you do what you do, right? Everything you promise, how are you delivering that? How are you bringing people through a journey to buy from you, right? These are the core engines of your business. If you have a team, how you work together, how you project manage, how you track information is another major one, right? Every business has similar core engines. How those engines work is different, but we want to think in terms of the engine of your business. This is a car that someone can get in the driver's seat and drive. We want that person to be someone other than you. And to get there, we need to stop thinking of process and systems in terms of kind of a bucket of car parts, right? Just a lot of pieces that you need to document and hand off, and much more looking at what's your engine, how do we capture that and see that at a high level so we can streamline it, so we can train people on it, so we can hand ownership over to someone else, and so we can improve it, right? So that is why we do what we do. And I want to actually show you the tool that we use to do this. This looks very different than process documentation you've probably seen before, right? The kind of gold standard is BPMN process mapping coming out of corporate. You've seen the swim lanes with the diamonds and the arrows and all of the complicatedness that goes into those. As someone who is coming out of corporate, who learned how to build those tools, I will tell you they take forever to create. They're very, very difficult to update, and no one wants to look at them. No one wants to follow the journey all the way through. It doesn't allow you to kind of zoom in at the level of detail you want or kind of narrow in on a specific piece. And a lot of times, often, a really bad map looks good, right? It still looks complicated. You see all the pieces until you start to follow it through and realize where the gaps are, right? So we don't do it that way. For any of our clients, including our larger ones, I have used this kind of more mind mapping technique with a large international NGO, and it was powerful for them. We presented it all the way up to the executive team, and they really appreciated this approach. And so I believe in capturing performance engines this way. I've tested it in dozens and dozens of businesses from big to small, and we use this as a really nimble way for a business like yours that probably needs to adapt and change and grow quickly, to keep a hold on that engine without needing to spend hours and hours updating it every 6 months, right? So like I talked about, a performance engine, when it's captured like this, gives you the ability to hand over ownership more quickly to your team. It streamlines the delegation process because people see, okay, here are the puzzle pieces that I'm owning, and I see how that fits into the big picture. It provides a lot of visibility. So you can kind of look at it and say, okay, I want to add this new step. I think it needs to come between these two right here. You can train the team easily on what's going on. You can identify new roles, start pulling out, okay, these are the pieces of this engine I need someone to own for me. It gives a lot of clarity on the level of person you need, the type of role that you need. It becomes a template for future systems and problems. Anytime I'm building a new marketing channel for us, I come to one of these, and that's how we build. And it increases the saleability of your business. It's an asset that you can present to a seller and adds value in actual real terms. When you are doing these things, when you have a performance engine that works really well, that's where profit comes from, right? This is where you can actually drive a lot of additional money in your business beyond just the revenue you're bringing in from a sales perspective, right? This is how you keep a lot of that money, increase the profitability, deliver high quality service as seamlessly as possible. Anytime you have gaps and issues where you can't scale or things are kind of piling up or late or you're losing clients, you're losing profitability, right? So this is a profitable thing. It's not just freeing up your time or taking stuff off of your plate, though those things matter. This is a lot deeper than that. So like I mentioned, we do maps like this because they're created and updated quickly. I can create a pretty advanced map in 90 minutes. It's a lot easier to understand without needing to be an ops nerd like me. We can filter it to the right level of detail, which I'll show you in a second. And it's more fun to look at, let's be real. So I wanted to show you, I have different samples in here of how a specific process would be captured in an engine like this. So let's say as part of your marketing channel, you have a podcast, right? There are 5 major things that go into that, right? You have the strategy for it, episode creation, episode promotion, sponsorships, and the assets that you're handling for this podcast, right? So this is where we can look at it at the level of detail we want to look at. You have big questions you want to answer. You have the process that you're going into to create an episode, the promotion process, what you need to do on the sponsorship side, the assets you're holding on to, right? So we can pull into different levels of detail. We can get this all big. And what I tell our clients is that we are capturing everything that would need its own checklist or own SOP needs to be included here. So we want to get a lot of detail and really just capture everything, pull it all out of your head, see it all in front of us so we can move things around. So that's a good example on the podcast side. Let's pull a really complicated delivery process here. So this would be, say, a done-for-you marketing agency, right? They might have a variety of different things they're doing for different clients, everything from quarterly contract review and performance reporting, all the way down to the ongoing content creation, brand development that they're doing, right? So we can capture all of these things, look at all of the pieces that are going into it, and then they can start looking at this and saying, okay, if I want to bring in an intern, say, what are the pieces of this puzzle that I want them to own? I can pull those out and see how that would work and who would be overseeing those things, who would own the brand development outcome for this client, right? But then who also would be doing the tagline writing, right? Those might not be the same person, but you can see, you can work your way around your systems, your performance engines, right? So we can do the same thing for a variety of different areas of your business, right? This is how you could look at an email nurture strategy, right? So there's just a lot of fun things we can do in here. And I wanted to give you a picture of how we go about building these. So you would have a very robust core engine, usually for your customer experience, but it could be a major marketing channel. It could be how you project manage across your team, where the batons pass from one person to the next. Whatever serves you best, we can capture that as a core performance engine right from the jump. This is the very first thing we do, so that if we're working with you to find an operations manager or supporting you long-term, whatever that looks like, this is the core foundational thing that we're using to do those things at a really, really high level. So hopefully that gives you a sense beyond just, oh, you're building performance engines, of what we do, how we approach it, why we believe this is the right thing, and how this could serve you.